Hi you guys, my name is Tamika. This is my channel, Tamika Uploaded, and today we're going to be talking about The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I am super excited to finally talk about this book. This was highly requested. People want to know my thoughts on what this book was about. Not only did I read the book, but I watched the movie too, thanks to Seth. It's actually on Amazon Prime if you want to watch it too. If you don't know what The Girl with All the Gifts is about, I'm going to give you a tiny little synopsis. We're placed in a post-apocalyptic world where we follow this girl named Melanie, who is confined to a jail cell unless she's confined to a chair where she has class with other students who are also confined to a chair, where they have mysterious, what's the word I'm looking for? Have mysterious habits, maybe? Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And this facility that they're all in is attacked, and the only person who can help a scientist, a teacher, and a couple of soldiers to get out of this facility safe is Melanie. And they travel to a safe zone where they're hoping they can meet up with the other people who can get them out of this whole entire horrible situation. Well, this book, without giving too much away, in case you haven't seen it, I believe going into it not knowing too much about it is great. You might want to read the book before you watch the movie. You might want to read the book before you watch the trailer of the movie, because once you watch the trailer, you're going to get spoiled about a lot of it, okay? That depends on if what I knew about the book going in, which I wish I didn't know about the book going in, that you already know, then did you know what I know? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But if you know absolutely nothing about this book, I highly, highly recommend, do not seek it out. Just read the book. You'll enjoy it, okay? So, my thoughts. So the characters aren't really that memorable. I liked it. I think Miss Josephine, maybe. I know I'm gonna destroy these names, okay? And I liked Melanie. I thought she was a very interesting, dynamic character. She carries the whole thing. We're following her. It was great. She does get some really weird quirks towards the end, but you can just tell that was the author just showing you just how intelligent she was and how much smarter she really was than everyone else. Let's just be honest. I thought the doctor was really interesting. She was a horrible human being, but she was trying to do everything for mankind. So it was like, you're the villain and not at the same time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was really, really hard to decide who we were rooting for. The scientist way of thinking or Melanie's way of thinking. I mean, they both made really good points. I think that's what made this really a true horror story, because you really had to question, like, wait, what is right and what is wrong? And I mean, that's what this book really challenged you on. I thought that all the soldiers, regardless of any love interest and all that stuff that popped up, I really didn't care about, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter in the end when you read the book. So it just is like, I guess I was supposed to connect and feel for these characters, but I didn't. Do I think this book was overhyped? I'm gonna go with a yeah. I was not in love with the story. I think the beginning is really, really awesome, but once we get to the middle, I was just like, I felt that way in the movie. Once I got to the beginning of the movie, it was like, I was in it. Then we got to the center and I was like, oh, okay, let me surf the net. I felt the need to surf the net. And then once we got towards the end, which is so funny, around the same time I started getting interested in the book, same time I started watching the movie again, same time I started paying attention to what I was reading again. There's just something about the middle of this book that just was boring. However, if you are a huge, huge fan, and is this a spoiler? Doesn't matter. If it's a spoiler, it's a spoiler. If you're a huge fan of The Walking Dead, you should certainly enjoy The Girl with All the Gifts. It has like that kind of that slow pacedness to it, but it has like these very dynamic, memorable moments that I did really appreciate from this book. At one point I wasn't going to read this book. I was just going to give it away, and I do regret that I felt that way, because I really did enjoy this book. I would read it again, honestly. I feel like it's a book that is worth a reread. Like, I don't think it comes off as the best book I've ever read, by no means, when I first read it, but it just has a feel from it that is very unique to itself. and I don't mind diving back into this journey with Melanie again, like a year from now during Halloween, because it is a little bit creepy, but it's not chilling and horrifying as everyone else like to make it out to be. Like, oh, this was so scary. It's I was reading it to be scary and it wasn't, but I thought it was suspenseful. I thought it had a nice thriller feel. Would I recommend this book? Yeah. Do I feel like you have to read this book? No. I give this book about, at this point in time, probably a 3 out of 5 stars. Not the worst thing I read, but definitely was not the best thing I read. If you've read Girl with All the Gifts, please let me know down below. As far as the movie is concerned, just to give you a little heads up, as far as the movie's concerned, I thought the acting was good. I thought they chose the right actors. I felt like they paralleled the source material quite well. You're welcome to disagree with me on that, but I thought they did an amazing job with the source material, with what they had, and also trying to keep it as interesting as they could. So, as always, I love you guys, and I'll see you next video. Bye! We are placed in a post-apocalyptic